I think it's fair to say that the World Wide Web is one of the greatest inventions of the past century, and I'm so grateful that I've grown up with the web. I got internet access in my home when I was 10 years old, I think.
America Online introduces new version 4.0.
There has never been a better time to get online.
The easiest just got easier.
Instant messages.
I can customize my email.
My niece sent me a picture.
If you have a phone line, you can be online.
It's the easiest way to keep up with old friends.
Everyone I know is on it.
We've spent over $1 billion to create a state-of-the-art high-speed network, and with 56K, connections are faster than ever.
It's the ultimate local guide.
New 4.0, check it out.
It's my connection to the world.
America Online, so easy to use, no wonder it's #1.
And ever since then, it's just, I don't think it's an exaggeration to say that everything has changed because of this innovation. Now, I did specify the web and not the internet. So the internet is amazing, and it's an incredible technology, and it's underlying all of this. The web wouldn't be possible without the internet in the first place. But the web is specifically what I want to gush about today. And there's 4 things that I think are just uniquely amazing about the web that we don't necessarily always appreciate as much as we should, and I want to talk about them today. So the first thing I really love about the web is that you can modify your experience. My experience doesn't have to be the same as your experience, even if we're looking at the exact same website. So for example, there's a button built into every single web browser, every major web browser at least, where if you're on a page, there's an article you want to read, and maybe there's a lot of ads, or you don't like the font choice, or there's some reason that you don't want to read it just as it's displayed on their website, there's a reader button. So you can go into a reader mode. There's probably a keyboard shortcut in your browser as well to do this. You can quickly just completely change the display of the page to see it in a way that's much easier for you to read. I think that's fantastic. And then there's browser extensions that change a ton of things about how the web works. So if you want to block ads, there's plenty of ad blockers. They're even built into web browsers these days where you can block ads on websites. If you want to block trackers, you can block trackers so that Facebook or Amazon or Google can't track you as well across the internet. Or you can do tons of crazy things with the just thousands and thousands, millions of extensions that are out there. You can change the language on a page. You can change the CSS on a page. You can change whole bunches of things. Basically, if you can imagine it, somebody's probably built an extension already to do it, and people just go crazy with it. I think it's just amazing the amount of things you can do to your web experience to make it tailored just for you. The second thing I really love is you can save the web for later. So there's tons of third-party services that do this, but it's also just built into your web browser. So in terms of the third-party services, you can use something like Pocket, Instapaper, or Matter to save an article to read later. So that's going to save the text of the article and display it nicely and everything, but you can save it to their services to read that article at a later date. Pinboard is a great option for archiving websites that you want to save. It doesn't really do a read later thing, but it does let you save links. And if you pay for a premium subscription to that service, they let you archive versions of those pages as well. So if the pages go offline, you can actually access the archived version of it so you don't lose access to what you originally saved. But like I said, this is all built into your web browser as well. So on any website you're on, if you want to save that website to your computer, just hit Command-S or Control-S on Windows. You can save it to your computer. You can save all the images, all the text, all the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript that's running. You can save it all to your device and run that website and see it whenever you'd like. Offline, online, doesn't matter. It's all locally on your device. So you could do this with articles, but you could also do it with things like Wordle. Wordle is a really popular game right now, and that just runs in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So if you just hit Command-S in your browser, you can save Wordle to your local computer and make sure you can play it forever. Similarly, I make an app called Quick Reviews that's online, and it basically just makes it so you can leave quick reviews for books, movies, media, whatever you want to talk about. It lets you do that really quickly. But if you're worried, I'm not going to keep paying for my server and it's going to go away at some point, you can just go to it right now, quickreviews.app, hit Control-S, save it to your local computer, and you can use it forever. I think that's really, really fantastic and just makes the web very different from apps where you don't really have that ability necessarily to just save it to your own kind of like personal archive the same way. The third thing I love is that platform holders have no control over what happens on the web. If you want to build an app and distribute it on the Play Store for Android or literally at all on iOS, then you have to follow the rules of those platforms. You have to have the right content that they approve of. You have to have a business model they approve of. And if you don't, then they're just not going to allow you to use them. And so that's totally different from the web, where you can do basically anything you want as long as it's not illegal. A great example of this recently is Xbox Game Pass, which Microsoft wanted to distribute as a native app on Android and iOS, and Google did allow them to do that, but Apple said, no, you can't do this on the App Store, and so they had to pivot to building a web app that does the same thing. And now, if you're an iPhone user or an iPad user, you can use Game Pass, and you can play Halo Infinite on your iPhone using an Xbox controller, PlayStation controller, whatever you want, through the Game Pass web app. And I think that's just a great thing that exists. I wish that Apple would have allowed it, obviously, but the fact that they had another way to go, I think it's a really great endorsement of the web as a platform. And the fourth and final thing I wanted to talk about today is super quick, but if you want to build your own thing online, if you want to do your own website, you want to build your own application, there's tons of ways to do that these days. If you have no coding experience, then something like Squarespace or Wix or Webflow, these are going to be great options for building your own website. If you are a little bit more technical, you can use something like WordPress or Ghost, or if you just want to buy a web server and buy a domain name and then write your own HTML, your CSS, your PHP, your like whatever you want to write, you can go ahead and do that yourself and publish it online, and no one has to approve it. You don't have to go through any gatekeepers or anything. You can just do it. And if people like it, they'll come and find you. Like, it's really so easy to get something online. It might be hard to do something well. It might be hard to get lots of people to use it. But if you want to get something online, it's never been easier to do that. So yeah, those are the four things that I think are just really fantastic about the web. Again, it's the fact that you can modify your experience, that people can have different experiences looking at the same websites. I like you can save things for later and make personal archives of things. I like that anyone's able to do whatever they want, and if there are people out there who want it, they're able to find an audience. And I love that, again, it's just never been easier to make your own website online. So those are things that really stand out to me today that I just had to get off my chest. I wanted to talk about. If there's other things about the web that you love, I'd love to see them down in the comments. Drop them down there, and I will see you here next time. Bye-bye.